What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Conductor Sunday live stream on a Monday, like I'm referencing Mondo, like he likes to do sometimes. I'm joined by the one and only George from Citrico Central. We have a lot of amazing topics to talk about tonight. We got Fantastic Four, where I'm going to ask George, since he saw the movie, what he thought about it, what he thinks about Fantastic Four taking over Tomorrowland that has no IP and no direction on where it's going. Also, we're going to talk about the Disneyland Halloween food guide, which is going to be absolutely amazing. And finally, we're going to brush up on HHN because we just got an announcement probably about half an hour ago from a Twitter, an X page, saying that we could possibly get another announcement tomorrow. And then to cap it off, we're going to talk about Horrors Unleashed, where I'm going to be there grand opening day, the day after, and George is going to be there that weekend, and we're going to break it all down. But before we do, George, it's always great to have you on the show. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely, and thanks again for having me on. It's always a good time coming on here and talking shop with you, whether it's theme parks, studios, all that good jazz. But if you'd like to find me, you can find me on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And you could also find me on my own YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55.
Absolutely, and it's always great to have you on. I'm your host, ThemeParkConductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky, and now TikTok, since OG got me into it. And George, I think you had a little influence on that as well. So I am on TikTok, and I'm just shy of 100 followers on TikTok. So I'm super excited since I just barely started that channel not even a week ago. So I'm super stoked. But you can also find me on X at ThemeParkConductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like George and so many others breaking down theme park news. But the first topic we're going to get into, and it's going to be the Fantastic Four. So as I pull up this page, George, I want to ask you straight on, because you saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the movie?
So for me, and don't worry, everyone in the chat, I will keep it spoiler free up until you guys have a chance to see it. But just to kind of give my gist on it, I walked out of the theater, and I did do an out of theater reaction. You can check it out on Citrico Central, and I ended up saying that Marvel is back. Literally, if they continue this trend of how they approached with Marvel's first family, we're in a route awakening for some good treats coming from Marvel. What it did was it brought back the essence of what it was to make a good Marvel movie when they would do the Avenger films and the individual hero movies. But so they captured that, but they also brought a new stylized version to it based off of the setting of the Fantastic Four. And I have to say they were spot on with the overall look. Kind of gave off that retro 1960s vibe. For me, they ended up getting the thing right. As opposed to the other films. There were some moments in the movie that with the thing that I wish that they only kept for like one or two scenes. But they ended up keeping it throughout the whole movie. I wish they didn't do that. For all of you who have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you'll know it when you see it. One little piece of a spoiler, but it's not huge, that the movie takes place on Earth in 828. And I thought that was very interesting. Didn't really think nothing of it. But at the end credits, this movie pays tribute to Jack Kirby, who was Stan Lee's partner in crime in creating Marvel, also with the Fantastic Four. And 828, Earth 828, stands for August 28th, 1917, Jack Kirby's birthday.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And, I personally haven't seen it yet. I am gonna do it because I do want to do another video where I have you back on to talk more in depth about it, have other people join in as well. But one thing I want to ask you, obviously you love the movie, and that's great because I saw the other Fantastic Four movies. Um, but I'm
And I
hearing,
don't really do this for films in general, but for me, I gave it a 10 out of 10. And
wow,
very rare do I do that.
wow. And it's true. It's true. Prime example, to go off subject for a little bit, we were, me and George and so many others were there for Disneyland's 70th birthday, and we saw the Walt animatronic.
Mhm.
As much as it got skepticism from top content creators, Walt Disney's actual family member, I think it was his great granddaughter, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And she had some not so positive things to say. Me and George actually gave it a 9 and a 9.5 out of 10. So when George means he doesn't give tens out very lightly, I mean it. I seriously mean it. But George, I want to ask you, with Fantastic Four, obviously there's meet and greets, there's treats, there's merch, there's just it's kind of taken over Tomorrowland. And Tomorrowland has been what I call a wasteland for God knows how long. It has no IP, half the land's abandoned. It reminds me of a Walking Dead, scene where it's not really decrepit, but it's not fully alive either. It's like half alive. Some people are saying online, speculating, because there's always going to be speculation and rumors and whatnot. Could we see more of a presence in Tomorrowland with Fantastic Four, because Tomorrowland has no IP, and there's references. I don't know how clear they are, but there's references in the movie that kind of tie in with Tomorrowland in the future.
Absolutely, because Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau both spoke about when they were releasing the teaser trailers at the time for Fantastic Four that the overall style of the film was influenced by Disney's Tomorrowland and Epcot Center. They flat out said that. They said Epcot and Tomorrowland was the influence of the style for this film. So that alone definitely gives pays tribute to the fact that could this be added into this land. Secondly, they're already beta testing it with the meet and greets, and I tell you what, I was there for the premiere for the meet and greet, and I tell you what, there was a line within a line. Like, they literally had to have you in a line to then, when you ended that line, you then go into the line of the queue to meet
Jeez.
the characters, and they had them partnered up 2 and 2.
Wow.
So they had Reed and Sue, and then they would switch out, and they would have Johnny Storm in the Thing. And every time I say Johnny Storm in the Thing, it sounds like an 80s rock band. But and then off to the side, they had Herbie, the little robot, which is he's adorable. You can talk to him. He interacts with you. He talks back to you in a sense and reacts to your movement, your questions, what you're saying to him. And there wasn't really any line for him. You just walk up, you can get a selfie, a picture, interact with him. And then the meet and greet is right off to the left of where he's at. And it was really cool with the Thing because he actually talks. And when he talks, it's not like voice, like audio command. It's like the person who's actually in the outfit is talking, and the Thing's mouth is moving in real time as the performer is talking. So I thought that was really cool. And we know that Disney does these things to kind of like dip their toe in to see, like, is it worth it? Does it work? I think it works. I think Tomorrowland is in dire need of a fresh, new, hot IP. I feel like the Fantastic Four, Disneyland can get away with it because it's west of the Mississippi River. It breaks up the monotonous of Avengers Campus because Fantastic Four doesn't really belong in there, so I think that it would be more suiting for it to be in Tomorrowland. And of course, they also have it's like a minute and a half of like a little uh, projection show off of Space Mountain of Fantastic Four. Nothing really to gawk at, but I mean, I think it's really cool that they just incorporate them in there. So I would love to see something permanent in Tomorrowland. I mean, it's already on good track with the box office. The movie had a budget of $200 million. They were expecting it to be roughly between 190 and 210 opening weekend, and it ended up with 218 worldwide. So it exceeded expectations, 118 million domestically alone, and that's just with opening weekend.
And see, that begs the question, because part of those chats online were that, because we've talked about it until the horses come home, and I mean literally for years, and people before us talked about it for years, what the heck they're gonna do with the people mover. I know a great content creator, Offhand Disney, I got a chance to meet him, not for the actual Disneyland 70th birthday, but for the Disneyland 70th kickoff celebration back in May with George and so many others, which I reference this every time George is on the channel. It was his first live stream, and Hey Bricky took over his channel. That was awesome. But Offhand Disney, he's been, pretty sturgeon on.
So, really quick, hold your thought. Don't lose it. Speaking of Bricky, I just have to give him a shout out because he ended up, because he was up at the top of the train station on the actual 70th when we were waiting for the thing, and we're walking on down by where the train station is, and we see him, we're waving, he starts recording us, I start recording him, and we're all in our little group, and he shots down as like, that's the worst cavalcade I've ever seen.
You know what's funny that you mentioned that, because it was so hilarious. I'm like, what? And I didn't say this out loud, but I'm like, what in the hell is he talking about? And then I kind of looked at us. I'm like, we are the cavalcade. What the hell? that man, between him taking over Citrico Central for your very first live stream, and then on top of that being spontaneous and coming up with a comment like that, is just classic Bricky.
Oh, absolutely.
Classic. Oh
yes.
my God.
I'm so sorry. Continue on with your thought. I just have to throw that out there. And also, too, after we're done with this, I want to segue a little bit because I wanted to ask you something about the 70th.
Okay.
And because I mentioned this to some other people, but I wanted to get your take on it as well.
Sure. Of course. So going back, I've been watching his channel Offhand Disney for a couple years now, and he's been pretty consistent about wanting the people mover to come back to our Tomorrowland. Obviously, they have it in Walt Disney World. I can't wait to ride it. I'm gonna ride it while I'm there, and at least say I did once. But he's been pretty adamant about bringing it back. And from what we've seen on different little clips over the years of the kinetic energy that Tomorrowland had way back in the day when Walt Disney had he was alive, he made that happen. And even after his passing, just all the kinetic energy, you had the monorail, you had the train, you had the riverboat cruise, you had the people mover, you had Autopia. It was the spaghetti bowl, but it was something that meant a lot of ingenuity and just a lot of creative went into that, and that's amazing. And one of the things I've been wanting to see is the people mover to come back. And the point I'm trying to get across here is, I don't know how true it is. George, maybe you can elaborate because you saw the movie. There was some reference in there about a people mover in the city that you could see during the movie, because it's in the future kind of city, kind of like what they wanted to do with Tomorrowland originally with the 2055 remodel.
Yep.
Is that something that kind of references Tomorrowland in a way in the movie, or is it something that doesn't really stick out?
It does, and I believe they actually confirmed that it was a full-on reference to the People Mover, which is very telling in itself because I think whether or not that the Fantastic Four come into Tomorrowland or what have you, I feel like the People Mover is destined to come back in some way. It may not be in its originality because it was very old and outdated, where with Walt Disney World, it never really like was changed or taken off. So you have that classic People Mover, but I feel like for them to even reference it in a current movie, whether some people noticed it or not, is very telling. And I think when it comes to Disney fans, not to mention Disneyland locals, I think if Tomorrow got up on stage and he mentioned nothing else,
Yeah.
but he said the People Mover is returning into Tomorrowland, he would have everybody and their grandmother's undivided attention.
Oh, 100%. And to be honest with you, if they announced, and I'm not even kidding about this, if they had the event, which I'm hoping they do in 2026, and I'm hoping to go with you and OG. I gotta get with Lucas Kim. He seems to be on that like snakes and grass. But if they have it at the Honda Center, next year, and like you said, Josh Tomorrow comes on the stage, and the only thing that gets announced, and I mean seriously, the only thing that gets announced is a Tomorrowland remodel and what it could possibly look like, and they confirm 100% People Movers coming back. That's all they would have to announce, and no one would be pissed about it. Not one damn person.
Oh, absolutely. And really quick, Cassandra Chamberlain's in the chat. She said, George said it, it's happening. And you know what? I don't like to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but it seems like every single time I mention something, Disney ends up doing it. For instance, I mentioned to a couple of friends last Halloween, before Oogie Boogie even started. And I said, you know what? I think if they were to add any more villains, what they could possibly do to add more to Pixar Pier is they could do Syndrome, because he would be a good face character. And you have the Incredicoaster right there. It's perfect. Sure enough, who are they putting in for this Halloween? Syndrome.
You know what?
I have to be tapped. I think they tapped me or something. Like
I think so. I think at some point when you met up with Josh Tomorrow, he probably put like an air tag or some type of CIA little microphone on your shirt or something. He had to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god. But
I really do. I feel like at some point the People Mover is going to come back. And I think because too, when you go back and you watch the D23 event last August, I can't believe it was last August already. It's almost going to be a year. That in the montage, in the very beginning of the show, Tomorrowland is represented.
Yeah.
And everything that was shown in that montage was addressed in the presentation, except for Tomorrowland. Yeah. And they said they did have plans to mention something of Tomorrowland, but they pulled back because either they weren't ready or they felt like that they had enough to talk about that was more closer in the pipeline than for Tomorrowland. So I think, honestly, there's plans that are already rendered. I just think they're just waiting to release them on us. And I feel like they won't do it for Destination D23. I feel like that Tomorrowland is a much bigger thing to tackle that should be held in the Honda Center for sure. And I feel like that they are going to hold it in the Honda Center moving forward because Disney already set it up for themselves. If you hold something that big in the Honda Center, you can't then go the next year or the next 2 years and retract it back into the Anaheim Convention Center because people, they're already going to be hyped up with demand to want to see this. So you can't have an arena that holds 17,000 people, but then
Sure.
you're going to revert it back to 12.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny because Bricky did a video, Fresh Baked did a video, and so many others have done a video. I think you and OG did a video on the concept art. I even did a video. Everyone did a video on that Eastern Gateway project concept art. And if you look, and I'll bring it up on the screen later in the show, but when you look at the towards the back, it kind of looks like Tomorrowland is kind of what
It's different. It's a completely different look than what you see Tomorrowland. Now, again, I remember having that conversation with OG because I'm not sure if they just did that just kind of like as hearsay, like it doesn't mean anything. They just need to put it there just to show the placement, or is there some relevance to it that is Tomorrowland going to significantly change?
Definitely. And again, that is something we want. Now, when they could start it, probably not until the 2 rides in Avengers Campus is done, probably not until Coco's done, which they're moving fast. So I can't see why they couldn't do it after that project. My only question is if they close down Tomorrowland, and the think about it with the People Mover. You look at Walt Disney's People Mover, and then you look at ours. Ours wouldn't have to change that much. Like, obviously, the track might have to be widened a little bit, but they could put that railing that has that really nice metal, and in the middle, it has that logo of the People Mover. I like that type of style. They could do that for ours, and that would be what I would consider ADA compliant.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, OG and I have a mutual friend who is a source.
sure.
And they are not 100% sure, but they almost can say without saying that there could possibly be something to come with the next D23 that eyes will be on Disneyland, being that DCA is already getting the love once the Avengers Campus expands. We got Coco, we got Avatar. Avatar's not going to be done probably not until like the back end of the 10-year that they promised us. But for the second half of the 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised whether it has to do with Tomorrowland or not. Definitely keep an eye on Disneyland Park for sure.
Definitely. And, again, I kind of feel, again, with DCA needed a lot of help, and it's getting help finally. But now, once those projects start moving off the ground, which they are, but once they start going vertical and then they get closer and closer and closer, like you said, by the next D23, we should hear something. I hope we hear something. It would be so exciting.
That would be the time to announce it. Look at like now we're almost a year in from the last D23.
Yeah.
And which is good. I mean, they, as Demaro promised, dirt is moving, which I think that is pretty good at record timing, but you have to think they would be announcing it in 26.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. Wait, yeah, 26. They would announce it in 26, but they probably won't start touching it, whatever it may be, till like 27, 28.
Possibly. And my question to you is, because obviously, you and me have been at Disneyland for we probably, I've been going since I was a kid. You've probably been going for forever. If they close down Tomorrowland, is there any way like backstage access where they could keep Space Mountain open but allow guests to go in go through the queue and stuff backstage? Or do you think that would be completely offline for however many years they have Tomorrowland ripped apart?
I mean, I think there may be ways for them to at least access to Space Mountain, even if they make a dead end and you kind of just have to loop back around and everything else is blocked off. I mean, because they did it with DCA. I mean, they had like all cylinders going off. We were literally walking through a labyrinth
Yeah,
in 2011 and 2012,
yeah,
um, or even a little before that, to be honest. But I mean, there still could be a possibility where they may just shut the whole land down. Because I was actually, the day that we went to Fantastic Four, I was hanging out with Mondo of Five Fires and Dave from Fresh Baked a little bit. And I asked Mondo, and I said, it makes me wonder that if they do incorporate Fantastic Four, of how they do with Star Wars and Season of the Force with Hyperspace Mountain, what it would take if they were to do an overlay of Space Mountain, but of Fantastic Four. And I think honestly that wouldn't be too hard of a tackle. Now I'm not saying that that would be the big attraction.
sure.
I would think that Fantastic Four would get their own e-ticket attraction, but I think during certain certain events or certain times of the year, just like how they switch over to Hyperspace Mountain, and there's Galaxy's Edge still in the same park, but yet they still switch over Space Mountain. I
Yeah.
think they could do the same with Fantastic Four, because then you could then add a huge projection on the dome inside while you're riding, and you could see Galactus, and you could see Silver Surfer, and you could hear the audio, and you could hear the music. Fantastic Four. Like I just think that would be like really cool to add that into Space Mountain.
Oh, 100%. And when you talk about the e-ticket attraction, they could put that right where the Star Wars launch bay is. And an e-ticket attraction for that could be anything. It could be like a Tron light cycle attraction. It could be like a Cosmic Rewind attraction. It could be like the Shanghai Pirates
I mean,
attraction.
technically, being that you mentioned it, I mean, Tron is not really a far-fetched idea. And I'm not just talking about a Tron light cycle. I'm talking about a whole Tron overlay,
Yeah.
because we got a new movie coming out. If Tron Ares lands at the box office, that would then give Disney another incentive to add something into Tomorrowland. And honestly, they could break it up past into the future. They could have partial of it Fantastic Four, and they could have another partial of it with Tron. And I think honestly where that might end up is, and I know people, you might not agree with me, but I'm sorry, it is what it is. Eventually, the subs and Autopia is going to have to go at some point or another. The president of the Disneyland Resort, the one that replaced Ken Potrock, I forget his name. I really have to get used to now figuring out his name, but he was with Signature Experiences. I got to shake his hand when we entered in to Disneyland with the 70th. I actually have it on video. I actually shook his hand. He seemed like a really nice guy, but he said that he's looking for a lot of quote unquote dead spaces within the perimeter of Disneyland itself for future work. And I'm sorry, Autopia and the subs for me, that's a huge, plus the motorboat area.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge prime real estate right there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And they could easily do it. They really could. I know a lot of people, and I'm going to side with you on it. I know a lot of people would get upset about at least the lagoon part, because I do have to admit, at night when they have the water clear, they have the lights working inside the water, it's absolutely breathtaking to look at. Don't get me wrong. But again, like Walt Disney said, Disneyland is never going to be finished. It's never going to be complete. It's always going to involve, upgrading and bringing new experiences, new imaginations to life. So not everything can stay a museum. Obviously, there's buildings in Tomorrowland that have historical value that can't be touched. I'm sure there's a lot of red tape they would have to go through in order to do so, if they even could. But again, with the lagoon, with Autopia, yeah, it's probably going to stick around for a little while longer because of them switching them to electric. But I think
here's the thing. I'm wondering if it's even going to make it to being electric.
that's That's another question. And who's going to sponsor that though? Are they going to still keep the
Mhm.
Honda sponsor, or are they going to switch sponsors?
Because it actually was supposed to be, I think, done by the beginning of 2026, and I think it got delayed.
Oh
And I
boy.
think they're delaying it on purpose for
Yeah.
that notion, because I just have a funny feeling, and here I go. Here I go. I got this Italiano wave feeling going, that once all this stuff ends up being done at DCA, it'll give enough traction for people to go over to DCA. Because let's face it, right now, a 1 day ticket at DCA is
Yeah.
not worth it. Not
No.
worth it at all. You open up the two Avengers rides plus Coco and then eventually Avatar. That gives you more than enough to spread some people over there operational wise, and then maybe that's when they can offload by removing Autopia and the subs, and maybe that's how they'll do it. Maybe instead of closing the whole land on, they may do it in waves.
Yeah.
They may do it in sections. But I think that the motorboat cruise area, I think that's destined for Fantasyland. I
Yeah.
think they would want to save that for Fantasyland because, again, there was already talks that the motorboat cruise area was going to be for Beauty and the Beast or Tangled or Frozen, because it would be like adjacent to the Matterhorn. So I think the motorboat cruise area is going to attach itself to Fantasyland. The subs and Autopia, I think, is going to be probably a mini land within the land of Tomorrowland for sure.
And you know what's interesting? I'm sure you've seen it already. If you haven't already, Bricky did a new video. I love watching his videos.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
He did one on Bricky Vlogs where he was talking exactly on that area, and he said that little area where the motorboat cruise once sat is such a crucial infrastructure spot for not only Tom Sawyer's Island and the rivers of America, but you got other areas throughout the park that little area in next to Tomorrowland, next to Autopia and all that is so crucial. That's why when George says that's probably going to be part of Fantasyland, the first thing he said during that video was it's probably going to be Arendelle,
Mhm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. But before we go to the next subject, George, I want to play this video. This is from WDW News Today. They actually filmed the projection show, so you saw it, right?
I saw it last night. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to play it for everybody. So if you don't want to watch it, it's a spoiler, then you could just click off for about 3 minutes and then we'll be back, me and George. But I'm going to play it because it looked absolutely fantastic. But let's. So, George, I want to ask you straight on because you said earlier inside Space Mountain they could retheme it to Fantastic Four and whatnot. By them having the capability to do a projection show like this on the outside of the Space Mountain building, you know, they have the technology to reskin Space Mountain. And what's got me more curious is the former astro orbiter that's on top of the old people mover load station that obviously got removed and put in the front of the park, which I think we can all come to agreement that was a big mistake because it's an eyesore. But um when they did that though, they kind of left the outer shell of that on top of the people mover, and it was kind of like a light show type, kind of like a almost like an entertainment type element to Tomorrowland back in the day. You know, could they add that back on that structure if they decide to keep the people mover station right where it's at?
I think if they were to keep the People Mover station where it's at, I don't think it would be that much of a hindrance for them to move it back. I think they could do it. I think they should do it.
Yeah.
Because Magic Kingdom's Astro Orbiter is like up on a platform where you have to go up on an elevator and ride. I'm fine with that, and plus it would also give some breathing room for the entrance of Tomorrowland rather than just have that ride like right smack dab right in the entranceway where you're like trying to walk left or right, go around. It gets a little bit bottlenecked there.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also wanted to mention really quick before we move on. Also, around that area of Tomorrowland is the monorail track, and I think Disney in time is going to want to unkink those loops in Tomorrowland because essentially what that was back in the day was an attraction. People rode the monorail to ride it as a ride, but now it's just used like Walt Disney World as a form of transportation to go in and out of the parks. So I think in time they're going to have to unkink that track because in order to touch the subs and the Autopia, that what OG calls the spaghetti bowl has got to go. And I think honestly they'll keep the monorail, but I think what they'll do is they'll just reroute it to where it'll just loop around the outer bank of Tomorrowland and then circle back around.
Well, okay, so I want to ask you this because obviously you got the monorail station literally right next to where you board the subs.
Mm-hmm.
Would that station still stay there? Or would you have to reroute that?
Depends on what would then replace the subs. If they can rework it where the station can still stay and they still put whatever else that they want in there and it'll intertwine, then they could leave it. If it's a hindrance, they may have to move it northeast of that area because they'll end up unkinking the track there anyway and they could just reroute the station.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because obviously you got the monorail track, you got Autopia, you got the old people mover track. I'm not so concerned about Autopia because obviously if they do decide to get rid of it, I would be sad by it, but I would understand it. But if I was looking at, because I've seen pictures, I've seen video of what Arendelle looks like, from the international park. And if I'm trying to imagine it in this little spaghetti bowl area, as OG calls it, I could see the whole Arendelle being in this footprint right here. And what I want to ask you is, would they keep the old people mover track, but kind of maybe reroute it a little bit where it's still as long as it was back in the day, but it's kind of more of kind of like a background type adventure where it's enticing people riding the people mover hey, I want to go check out Arendelle after this. So it's kind of giving you like a preview of what the land looks like. It's not going to run right in the
Oh,
middle.
absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like going on. It's kind of going on like Casey Jr. Circus Train or the Storybook Canals. You get a
Yeah.
different perspective depending on which attraction you're going on, but you get like an overview look of Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Um, they can do the same thing. Plus, again, you would then have the Matterhorn in the backdrop that would fit so well with Arendelle.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, the lagoon is beautiful at night. And who knows, they could probably keep some of it. Maybe.
I'd
But
be okay with that. Honestly, they can keep the lagoon if they want to attach that to Arendelle,
sure.
because I know that Arendelle has nice waterways. Just get rid of the gigantic yellow turds that are floating in it.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's true though, because a lot of people
And it's very costly.
it's
It's very costly to keep those subs running because essentially they're real life submarines. So when there is something wrong with maintenance issues, it's not just getting a regular handyman. You have to get certified people who know how to work these things.
yeah. And see, that's part of the cost and effect issue. Plus, when you ride those things, I don't know. Me being 6'3", I kind of feel claustrophobic being
Mm-hmm.
in there. You know, I I I like it, but I don't like it. It's not an attraction I'm running to on a rope drop to go ride. It's something like if a couple of buddies want to do it, I'll just cave and do it. So it's kind of like a back burner attraction for me, and probably a lot of people. Not everybody, but a lot of people would probably say the same thing. But that water would be perfect for Arendelle, and the massive footprint you have, and with Matterhorn being right there is perfect. But see, that's a whole nother animal in itself is the Matterhorn, because Bricky also did point out in that latest Bricky Vlogs video that the Matterhorn is having massive structural issues. Like not to the point where it's unsafe, but it's getting to the point where it's like the Simpsons show building at Universal Hollywood, where it's starting to show its age, it's starting to have its issues here and there, and it's only going to get worse. And by them closing it down and refurbing it for 2, 3, 4 months, it clearly shows that it needs a lot of work.
Yeah,
If not,
absolutely. I mean, they did reopen it back on the 24th. I actually got to ride it twice
yeah,
already. Um, and I felt like, it ran just as well as it did. But again, it's it's still one of those attractions where when you ride it and you notice how rough it is, you can see like how much it takes a toll on that attraction, that each time that those toboggans go out of the station, um,
yeah,
that it's wild, and you just never really know how much is going to last. You really
yeah,
don't. And I think if and when that time comes, um, I'd say honestly try to keep and preserve the outer structure of the mountain as much as possible, but the
sure,
interior,
yeah,
they may have to literally gut it and work their way, back up again.
yeah. And that's gonna be it's gonna be a sad day when that time does come, because it is gonna happen. A lot of people can say no, it's never gonna. They can't keep putting band-aids on this thing. We all know, any type of building infrastructure that any company or any person builds, after it's been in its location for so long, decades, eventually you have to think, how safe is this for any person to be either around, inside, whether it's a ride, it's a show building, it's, you know, a skyscraper. You see it all the time. You really do. Even casinos in Las Vegas, which you see all the time. Old casinos just get torn down, get demolished, and new ones get rebuilt. It happens all the time. And for something like this, like George is saying, I would agree with you. They need to preserve as much as humanly possible, but the whole inside of it needs to be gutted and rebuilt where it's safe. You know, if things have to change, they have to change, but it's for guest safety. It's not because they want to destroy Walt's legacy, because Walt did have a part on building the Matterhorn. It's to make it safe. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah, I
it,
don't think Disney would purposely, maliciously take the Matterhorn out just to say, "Oh yeah, let's take it out." I really do believe that they know how beloved of an attraction is to the fandom and the community and guests, and I feel like they would only do something with it if and when comes time to it, because it's a safety protocol and nothing else, nothing
oh
less, nothing more.
oh definitely 100%. So the next topic, which is going to take a while to get through, the I was looking through this earlier, and I tell you what, so many treats. I think I'm gonna go broke. I'm literally gonna go broke because there's so many treats. I want to
Oh, really
try.
quick before we go to the treats, I
Sure.
wanted to ask you my question
Oh,
from earlier. When you talked about doing the 70th anniversary, the actual day when we were all there,
yeah,
and it was more like a lot of cameras, a lot of like news stations,
sure.
media and that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is, but I felt like the magic fully wasn't there on that day compared to May 16th. I felt like May 16th had the feeling that the 17th should have had. And this is my problem when you kick off an anniversary that big of a milestone. And I get it, they're trying to get as much out of it as possible. But
Sure.
for me to wait another 2 months, I would have kicked it off on the 17th and released everything that day. The Walt animatronic, Paint the Night, Wondrous Journey. I just feel like by breaking it up, it took a little bit of that extra mojo that the May 16th took off of July 17th. That's my own personal take on it, but I wanted to ask you
Oh,
what you think.
okay. So I'm gonna say that I absolutely agree with you, because when we were there for the actual birthday, it was a lot of press, cameras. It was a lot of content creators filming. It was a lot of PR. You know what I mean? And I feel that I kind of feel in my own take, by them doing that, was it really didn't feel like it was that magical, because of, again, May kicking off the celebration, because a lot of the decor, a lot of the merch, a lot of, the characters with their outfits, the cavalcade during the day, Wondrous Journeys, um, and all the nighttime entertainment, tapestry. I kind of feel that we already saw that back in May. So when we were there for the actual birthday, the only real thing we got, quite frankly, that was the big one, was the Walt animatronic. The fact that we a lot, very, like a handful of us, and shout out to you and your wife Abby for including me in the family plan. Seeing Bob Iger and Josh Tomorrow speak on stage in front of uh, the train station, and where they usually have a beautiful flower display whether it's Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse, depending on what type of the season it is. But I kind of feel between those two, and maybe a couple new merch items, maybe a couple new food items, if that, it really didn't feel that too much. Oh, and by the way, the Richard Sherman verse in Small World and the Main Street Theater, where they did a little infomercial, which me and you watched, George, and it was absolutely breathtaking. That type of stuff right there, even watching the Walt animatronic kind of got me the tears, because it just brought something that it just a natural reaction. It really was. But besides those things, I 100% agree with you. I don't feel it was that magical, and I feel that they shouldn't have waited until that July 16th date and not did it in May. And what they could have done, they could have kicked it off on the 16th, and they could have went until 2026 July 16th. Why they didn't do that, I don't know. They jumped the gun, and in my personal opinion, like you said, they kind of felt like they had a lot of stuff to put out there, and they did. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of that stuff, like the key interaction thing, was cool. Don't get me wrong, that was a lot of fun, but there were some times where those things malfunctioned, and those could have been worked out a little bit better, alongside with the Walt animatronic having, its issues. But you were saying?
Oh yeah, so I just wanted to address, because OG was saying counter argument, because he and I do see a little bit differently on it. If everything premiered on July 17th, would it have been as magical if you were unable to do everything due to overwhelming demand? Now I
Sure.
can see that point, but the thing is, for me, I felt like we were able to do everything that we wanted to do and then some, even on May 16th.
Sure.
I felt like, because we ended up seeing Paint the Night, Wondrous. Um, we saw that god awful World of Color show. Um, we went on It's a Small World, where they added Miguel and Dante, which again I don't understand. They added them in on the 16th, and then they added the verse on the 17th of
Yeah.
July. So I feel like, being that there wasn't a whole lot that they added more on July 16th, I feel like they still could have incorporated everything in July 16th, and we would have
Sure.
been able to get everything in.
Sure.
So I don't think that necessarily would have been a problem, but maybe that was Disney's thought process of saying, oh gosh, if we do put everything in one, is it going to be overwhelming and everything? But I also think too, they could have done World of Color. They could have done, we already had Wondrous Journeys. That could have premiered May 16th. That was nothing new. So they could have brought Wondrous Journeys back on May 16th, and maybe World of Color. But I would say everything else, I think, could have premiered on July 17th.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And one of the things I do want to add to that was, you know, unfortunately, a lot of just the everyday or every other day or once in a while theme park guests, obviously they wouldn't have been able to do everything. It would be more of us content creators kind of just rushing around to get everything we could. So I get both aspects of the coin. I get why they did it in May, but I also agree they could have possibly done it on the 17th to kick it off for the actual birthday. But again, it's something probably Disney wanted to do that way, so it's just what it is. But I don't know. I kind of feel like you said we did a lot of stuff back in May. Like I said, the interactive key challenges, even though that was like Armageddon in the Emporium, that was insane. Um, and then doing the key challenges, doing all three shows, Wondrous Journeys, Tapestry, World of Color. Um, it was a lot to do. It was a lot to do, but we all got to do it. It was a fun time. I do want to say though, for July 17th, one of the biggest celebrations I can say was hanging out with you, George, OG, and Mindy, and just everybody, and celebrating what a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment that a good friend of ours, Mr. Webba, got hired by Disneyland, and now he is starting to work at Disneyland. He's back of house in maintenance. So shout out to Mr. Webba for getting the job at Disneyland. I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud, and he's just an awesome guy. He really
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Yeah, I told him like I better get some Mickey premium ice cream bars out of it. But and actually speaking of saying that, I think that would be actually a great segue
Oh,
to the foodie guide.
oh, absolutely. Hey, so he'll probably get to try some of this. So I'm kind of, well, he can't really say much. That's kind of, so I want to make something clear before we go any further. I'm planning on having Webba on the show. It's going to be a little while. You know, obviously I told him straight on, I said, well, get your foot in the door at Disney. Don't piss off the mouse right away. Get your foot in the door. And once you kind of figure out things logistically, I will have you on the show. But obviously, you know, when he does start doing his videos again, obviously with George from Citrico Central, Orange Grove 55, and he does his web shots, and then he goes on other content creators' videos. There are certain things he obviously can't say, but I can't wait to have him back on the show. It's going to be a fun time when he does feel comfortable to do so. But the Disneyland Halloween foodie guide. Have you had a chance to look through this thing yet?
No, actually, I haven't. So
Ooh.
this is going to be a first time for me here.
Oh, this is dangerous. This is so dangerous. So this was posted by Disney Park Blog. Shout out to them. This was published on July the 24th, just a couple days ago. I'm going to skip the wording. The hell with the wording. I want to see the pictures. The hell with the wording. But our first picture, Halloween treats at Disneyland. This is called a haunted heat wave pizza, spiced blush sauce, topped with mozzarella and pepper jack, Italian sausage, classic and crispy cupped pepperoni, smoked bratwurst, sliced red fresco chilies, garnished with basil and hot honey drizzle. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing with that is, I mean, I love spicy stuff. I mean, obviously I gotta be careful with that because I've done some damage to my body with it. But I would have to like look at that one myself because I'm not a huge fan of like sausage. I never was. Like I could handle like basic sausage, but you said they have like bratwurst. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it has bratwurst in it, smoked
Like,
bratwurst.
that would have to be like an if kind of thing for me. But I mean, everything else sounds pretty good. And maybe if you eat it all together, maybe it's. But I do love spicy stuff.
Definitely. Well, so let me ask you about this. Obviously we could see the pizza, and then the next picture we'll get to, which is pasta. Do you kind of feel in a way that these two food items are very generic? Like it's not something special that is like exclusive to Disneyland, where it's like, oh my god, I have to buy a ticket to try this.
Yeah, like for me, and here's the thing: Disneyland pizza is not the best.
Sure.
To be honest, I mean it's just like theme park pizza. I feel like they can never get it. There's only two areas that I actually enjoy pizza on Disney, and they're both at Walt Disney World. It's Via Napoli in the Italy Pavilion at Epcot because it's brick oven pizza. And it's thin crust, and it's like they have like the margarita pizzas. They have like all the fancy pizzas. and the other one is the pizza at the boardwalk.
Okay.
Because for me, that pizza is like true, like East Coast New York
Sure.
kind of pizza. You know, like you could put on like the pepper flakes and the Parmesan cheese, and like those are the only two spots in Disney that I actually enjoy pizza. Everything else is, eh, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The next item is called a spicy blush pasta. Italian sausage, bell peppers, served on chef's choice of pasta tossed in blush sauce, whatever that is. Probably just tomato sauce. They just named it something else. And garnished with parmesan and basil. Again, is this something that's just basically generic they're throwing out there that you can go to any restaurant or any Italian restaurant outside Disneyland to go eat?
Yeah, I think something like that. Like, I'm not opposed to trying it, especially for Citrico Central. You know, I'll definitely do it for content sake, and to give my yuck and yum
Sure.
kind of thought on it. But yeah, but just like the overall dish, I could probably find that somewhere or put it together myself. Or what
Sure.
have you.
Absolutely. The next item we got is called a apple and pecan salad. So something like this, I would definitely try for content for sure. It says it has mixed greens with frisky candied pecans, Granny Smith apple, feta crumbles, and maple dressing.
Um, I mean, I have been getting back into salads just because I've been trying to watch what I eat. I actually lost 18 pounds already with a change of some of my diet. I still enjoy my food. I love my food, but watching how much of like the doughs and the carbs and everything that I'm putting in. But I don't know, this particular salad. I usually like a Southwest salad or like a Caesar. I'm
Yep.
not really one that likes dehydrated fruit in my salad. I never like. I know there's salads that you can have like mandarin oranges and dehydrated raisins and that kind of stuff. And like I don't know. This doesn't really strike my fancy.
Definitely. Again, I'd probably do it for content purposes just to try it.
Yeah.
I know Tommy would. It's killing him inside right now because he wanted to do this foodie guy with us, but I'll probably do another video with him. But because he's our food expert, he loves doing food reviews on his channel at Tommy Toon World. But you know, again, it's not something if I was not doing content, it wouldn't be something I'm running towards. But it's something I'm definitely wanting to try for content purposes, and it doesn't look that bad. It kind of does look eye appealing. So I'm not gonna say it's not like the pasta where, like I said, I could probably go to Olive Garden and get. So, um, but who knows? The next one we got. Ooh, okay. This one I would have to try. This is a pumpkin spiced breadsticks. Breadsticks rolled in pumpkin spice sugar, served with a caramel cream cheese sauce. What do you think about that? That sounds like more dessert.
Yeah, I think they kind of like fused like the typical like breadstick with something a little bit more fall harvest kind of yeah, dessert like. To be quite frank, I'm not a pumpkin kind of guy. I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin spice. I know I'm probably in the minority with that, but
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't mind trying it. Abby would probably enjoy that. But I might take like a couple bites just to see
Sure.
what it's like. But I think if I was to just get it on my own,
Yeah.
probably not, because I'm not a huge pumpkin spice kind of guy.
So I am a pumpkin guy. Probably not the spice though, because for probably many of my viewers probably don't know. I don't know if I've ever said it publicly, but I do work at Costco. So when during the winter time, during the holiday season, our bakery cooks up pumpkin pies. I do like our pumpkin pies, but something where it has that pumpkin spice to it, I don't think I would like something like that. So I'm probably with George on that one. I'd probably skip it. because I don't like the spice aspect. If it didn't have the spice aspect and it had just a pumpkin, I'd be willing to try it. And then the final item of this segment this is all at Alien Pizza Planet. So there's multiple tiers we're gonna go through, but this is all at Alien Pizza Planet. It's the seasonal alien macaroon filled with berries and cream.
I know Abby ended up getting something like this when we were at one of the after hour events. It wasn't this one in particular.
Sure.
But she got it because it was the green alien. It was cute and everything. It was a little bit on the sweet side. Abby, I know you're in the chat. If you can reconfirm what that was and when we got it. So I wouldn't mind trying this again because I like how they utilize like the green alien, for like specialty, flavors depending on what the season is or the event.
Sure. Yeah. Again, I haven't 100% adapted myself to macaroons. I know a lot of people love macaroons. It's something I'm willing to try though for content purposes.
Mhm.
So I would have to try it, but I do have to say, doing some of the festivals at DCA, whether it was the Festival of Holidays or it was Lunar New Year or Food and Wine.
You should come along with Abby and I when we go and try all this stuff, and you be a part of our yuck and yum video.
Oh man, I'm down. Count me in on that one. I did try. I think it was a macaroon from. I want to say it was the Festival of Holidays, and sometimes when they kind of go all out and it looks like something like that, it can be very sugary. So if you're not someone that can handle a lot of sugar all at once or in one bite, I would probably not recommend it.
Yeah, I took a couple bites out of that and I felt like I was pissing out crystallized sugar.
Oh geez.
But Abby confirmed it was on Sweethearts Night.
Okay.
When we had that. That's right, because I remember they had the little hearts in the eyes of the alien.
I think I saw pictures that you posted about that. They did look kind of cute. Oh, okay. This is getting dangerous now. This is getting dangerous. So this is at Bengal Barbecue. So our first drink is a iced Pantene cooler with brown sugar, spears with ube. Yeah, ube cold foam.
Which, by the way, I would have never known what that was. It wasn't until I got in a relationship with a Filipino that I actually would never have known what ube was.
Yeah, that's the first time reading something like that. As far as I'm concerned, as long as it's not something that I can't confirm that someone else hasn't tried yet, I'm okay drinking it.
Right.
Now, if it's something.
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually love the ube taste. Okay. But Abby and I had a drink something like this that had like the ube foam at the top.
Yeah.
It did not cooperate with me because my beard, it's very sticky. So like as I'm drinking it and everything, I move the cup. It literally was like stretching and it was like attached to my beard. It was
oh my God. Well,
so for anyone who wants to get a drink, mental note, because that I ended up learning, make sure you stir the whole entire thing. But the taste of it was it was weird. It was a weird combination.
Yeah.
And that's when we did have the person in front of us order. That day was pathetic. Apparently, anyone in Disneyland Park does not eat. Like they just get a thing of onion rings, or they just get one little thing with no drink, and it's and then when we do finally get the drink at the end of the night, this is what we get.
Exactly, a sticky, bearded mess.
But but I would say the brown sugar kind of intermixed with the drink. I think that would be good. I do love brown sugar intermixed in a kind of a drink.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely wanting to try this. Content related or not. This looks very, very delicious. Our next drink is a iced pumpkin chai latte with brown sugar, spears, and cold foam. What do you think about that?
Everything but the pumpkin.
Yeah,
But again, I would not oppose, just because I'm not like a pumpkin type of person, or I'm not this kind of person. I
sure.
would still try it, because
Yeah,
you never know. There may be something in a format where it's like, okay, I don't like pumpkin, I don't like pumpkin spice, but for some reason I like this drink, and you never know until you try it.
exactly. It looks pretty interesting. Again, I'm not a coffee drinker, and when I'm seeing, chai and I'm seeing the word latte, it kind of screams to me coffee. And believe me, I've tried so many different type of coffees, cannot acquire the taste no matter what the heck I try to do. Cannot do it. Um, but I don't know. I may try that. I may do it. The next item is from Blue Bayou Restaurant, which is, oh my god, it's like being a pirate on or on Captain Jack's ship trying to fight a battle. It's a battle to get a reservation
Oh yeah.
for that restaurant. Um, what do you think about this? Obviously, I think I think it's oh okay, so it's a plant based roasted beet and citrus salad.
They can keep it.
Okay,
They can keep it with the reservation, because
yeah,
I'm not a fan of beets.
yeah,
Citrus, can kind of go either way,
sure.
but full plant based, no.
Yeah, because the ingredients it has in it is creme, herbs, almonds, fennel, and poppy seed vinaigrette.
Yeah, no. I would probably take anything pumpkin spiced before that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this looks interesting. This is what is it called? Dauberge cake. Uh,
Mm,
it has that pumpkin spice in there
yeah,
again.
with
It,
a with a salted caramel buttercream.
yeah,
That might be, again. I wouldn't mind trying that. Abby
yeah,
would probably like that.
yeah. So it says it has layers of pumpkin spice sponge, chocolate whipped garnish, and salted caramel buttercream. And I love salted caramel ice cream, so I'm guilty of that one. So that would be very interesting to try. Definitely. And that's all the items from Bengal Barbecue. Oh my god. I'm getting so hungry and thirsty looking at this stuff. This is from Cafe Daisy. And it says mobile order is available for this. This is Daisy's Goofy. Okay. Daisy's Goofy Goody Donuts. Okay. House made mini apple cider. What?
Wait,
Where is that? I don't even see that.
yeah, that's not even. Well, let's just see. They don't have a picture of it. So donuts, handmade mini apple cider donuts with spiced apple sugar. That actually sounds really good. There's no picture of it, but damn, that sounds good.
I wish there was a picture because it's funny because at the Great Maple, we did a video, me and Tommy Toon World, when we were out there in May for the kickoff celebration. We said, you know what, we want to try the Great Maple. A lot of people said they loved it, and one of the things Tommy told me at dinner that night, and we filmed little aspects through our dinner and whatnot, and the video is on his channel, is we had to try their house made maple bacon glazed donuts, and they weren't that bad. They were very fulfilling. So when I see something like this donut related, I'm not saying I'm Homer Simpson with donuts, but I do like donuts. I'm not gonna lie about that. But
There's Abby. Abby introduced to me one of the donuts, and I forget the location. I forget the spot. Abby knows. I want to get another one soon. It's actually a stuffed donut with ice cream in it.
what?
Yeah.
Oh man, Abby, you gotta tell me that spot. Now I want it.
It is really good. It's big.
Yeah,
It's not like ultra sweet where it's like you can't eat it.
sure.
It's like you get full on it very quickly, but then it's like you don't want to put it down.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely want to try that because I will tell you the donut at Universal, so in the Simpsons land, that thing is massive. I got it. I think since that land's been open, I've gotten it twice, and it's like eating a cake. I
I
kid
can
you
believe
not.
it.
It
Abby says it's a After's ice cream.
okay. Where's After's ice cream?
Where is it located, Abs? I only went there once with her.
Yeah, I don't remember where that's at. So Abby, post in the comments. But our next item, and they do have a picture for this, thank God, is Clarabelle Spicy Chipotle Pineapple Lemonade. Minute Maid Zero Sugar Lemonade Chipotle Pineapple Syrup and chili lime seasoning topped with pineapple.
Um, the
Uh,
Chipotle is the thing that's kind of throwing me off with this.
yeah, because then it's supposed to be sweet, and
Yeah,
now it's spicy. It's weird.
maybe it's like a sweet then spicy. And again, I can see like it's sitting on the bottom, so you probably have to give it a good stir
Sure.
for it to go through. Again, I'm optimistic. I'll try it, but it's not like something that I'm curious about, but I don't know 100% if I would actually like it.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think that one I may skip because of the Chipotle aspect of it.
Yeah,
Because I don't think I would like Chipotle, a spice in the drink.
and a drink. Yeah, I like Chipotle like on foods, on like
Sure.
chicken and stuff like that. But yeah, but in a drink with pineapple, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. And don't get me wrong, there are some like places where you can. Oh, she posted. Oh, it's in West Covina. There's one in West Covina, Azusa, Chino Hills, Fulton, and Orange. Okay, I'll have to look that up because Fulton's kind of literally right next door to Disneyland. It's only like what 15, 20 minutes, if that.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that far. So I'll definitely have to go check that out. But there's some places where you can get pineapple spears and it has like I wouldn't say it's exactly like Chipotle seasoning, but it has like a spicy seasoning, you know, drizzled on it. And some of those are pretty good and some of those are like, yeah, God. So I don't know. That's a quandary for me. I probably wouldn't try it though. It'd be too much for me. The next one is a pumpkin tiramisu cold brew. Joffrey's French roast cold brew coffee with pumpkin tiramisu syrups topped with whipped cream, chocolate, and pumpkin powders, and ladyfinger cookie.
I definitely wouldn't mind trying this, even though it has pumpkin spice on it. I absolutely love a good tiramisu,
Yeah,
especially being an Italian. You know, that's like one of my favorite desserts. Not top desserts, but it's in my top five for sure. So to infuse this into a coffee brew with the ladyfinger and everything, I think that would be really good.
definitely. Again, I don't like coffee, but it's something I'm willing to try. Just to say I tried it, but I'm not a coffee person whatsoever. So I have optimism about that one. The next item is a sweet potato hummus, lemon oil, pomegranates, sunflower seeds, and lavished. It just says lavish plant based, but obviously you have crackers with it, so it's kind of like a chip and dip situation. What do you think about that?
Um, mm, Probably not for me. Just because I'll eat hummus, but I'm not a huge fan of it, and I'm actually not too big on sweet potatoes, so it probably wouldn't be a thing for me.
Yeah, see, I like the sweet potato aspect of it, but my thing is it's kind of weird to have sunflower seeds, pomegranate, and lemon oil in it. That's throwing me off a little bit. So it'd probably be a miss for me. So I probably wouldn't try it. And then obviously this is not in the next title, but I do love my cream sodas. But that cherry cream soda with Sprite, cherry syrup, and cream, I probably will have to get that. I want it. But the sweet potato, this cherry cream soda, this is all at Caffeine Orleans. And then the top half was at Cafe Daisy. And then obviously there's no more picture. Well, no, there is a picture, but it doesn't give a description. This is at Carnation Cafe, our favorite hotspot. George turned me on to it. I love Carnation now. Um, but Carnation Cafe has a Isla Brewing Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. It kind of looks like a pie.
Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. That's usually a drink.
Oh no! Wait.
Spaten
Oh
October.
no! It's down here. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called an Alpine Almond Delight, rolled Danish filled with pastry cream and almond cream finished with sliced almonds. So it basically sounds like the whole dessert is mainly almonds with obviously some cream in it.
With Danish, and that can kind of go either way because sometimes Danish could be very dried out.
Sure.
So it can kind of go either way. I mean, if they make it right, it might be really good.
Definitely. And then the other stuff I didn't say, there's obviously these two drinks from Carnation. This seems like a beer. Well, they're both alcoholic. This one is at, where's this at? This right here. Where's that in the park? I don't remember.
Snacks.
I don't remember.
White snacks.
Yeah. I don't know where that is, but that's where that Alpine Almond Delight is. But the one above it, it looks like a chicken shaker salad. It has mixed greens, grilled chicken, hard-boiled egg, green beans, cherry tomatoes, olives in it, potato chips served with honey mustard. Okay, so this is another item I'm going to say personally. It's another salad you could probably get outside the park somewhere.
And it just seems like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like there's just like a lot of flavors at once.
Yeah. Which, not, it kind of depends because it could be bad or it could be good. It really honestly depends how all these different ingredients in the dish mix together. Sometimes it could be too much or sometimes it could be too little. Who knows? This is from Galactic Grill. This is a haunted hound dog. So it's a 1/4 pound all beef hot dog on a brioche bun, which I love brioche, topped with shredded cheese, pickled mustard, bacon, fried onions, served with your own choice of cuties, mandarin orange, or French fries.
I mean, it actually sounds good. Abby says that Idlewise Snacks is by Matterhorn.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why.
It's funny because I probably go there all the time. It's just I never look at the title because I've never seen that title before.
Me either.
For how many times, just how much I pay attention. I just say go to the snack stand right next to Matterhorn.
Exactly. That's what we call it in the park, just snack stand. We don't even call it by its name.
But I mean, it sounds good. I wish that I was into hot dogs and
Sure.
that kind of stuff. But actually, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe taking a bite just because of everything on it sounds good. I do love brioche buns and bread. I think it's really good. Another was I love ciabatta rolls.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that could be interesting. As I said, Abby would probably get that.
Oh, definitely. 100%. The next item is a chili pepper burger, Angus beef and vegetable patty, ghost pepper salsa verde, pepper jack, green chili pico de gallo, chili lime slaw, and crispy onions served on a toasted brioche bun with your choice of cutie, mandarin, or French fries.
I would absolutely get this because I had this somewhat before. This was the burger I was talking about during the Halloween season that they had over at Smoke Jumper's Grill.
Ooh, that does look good. I would definitely try that.
Yeah.
100%. That looks awesome. Um, Obviously my OG character, Darth Vader. Gotta love him. It says Darth by Chocolate. Interesting name. Layers of chocolate pudding, red velvet sponge, chocolate mousse, and crushed chocolate cream filled cookies. I'm gonna say first off, 100% I'm getting this because I love red velvet, I love
I do too.
pudding, and I love just everything about it. Now the mousse, I might be a little skeptical on because if it's dark chocolate mousse, I'm not a huge dark chocolate fan.
I'm not either, but I will say I'm not like a huge like full on chocolate eater, but I too also love red velvet cake and I love pudding. That might kind of get me to try this for sure because
Oh,
it kind of reminds me of the dessert dirt and worms, just minus the
yes,
gummy worms.
I know. See, I was gonna say that. It does remind me of that. And you know what? Looking at this picture too, it screams what's the planet that Darth Vader has his home base on? Because you can see the red kind of tiniest
Yeah,
planet. Mustafar, right?
Lucifar. Yeah,
Yeah, Mustafar.
and Abby says Janelle from Magic Journeys loves that one.
What, the pudding?
The pudding.
Oh, yeah, it looks good. I can't wait to try it. The next item, okay, this is kind of teeter-tottering on the PG-13 title here. Bloody Orange Slushy. That's a step up for Disney to call a drink that. It has raspberry drizzle. It's non-alcoholic. Well, there's not much of this of a description, but what do you think?
Let's see, with raspberry drizzle and an orange slushy. Okay, so basically, it's like probably like an orange cream flavored slushy with a raspberry. I'd definitely get that.
Yeah,
If it's like an orange cream kind of flavor, absolutely love that kind of stuff.
definitely. And who knows? It could taste like Fanta orange, maybe, or
Oh, okay.
something
At
like
first, I thought you said Fonda, and I was like, Jane Fonda?
no, no. That's a whole different flavor.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh well. The last one we got is a iced pumpkin pie chai latte topped with pumpkin pie cold foam.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, as much as I'm not a huge fan of pumpkin, I love chai latte. I really do. So that alone would probably get me to try that.
Oh yeah, I would definitely try that. And then okay, so okay, this is a different slushy that they have. This is from Good Boy Grocers. It's a strawberry slushy made with the strawberry fauna and it's non-alcoholic.
I would try that. Yeah, I would try that for sure.
Okay, this right here, what in the hell are we looking at? This is from Kitchen Grill Ice Cream Parlor. Okay.
So
It's
rest in chocolate.
interesting. You want to read the description?
Yeah, I got this one. Rest in chocolate. Rocky Road ice cream buried in a chocolate-covered waffle cup with chocolate cookie crumbles and gummy worms topped with a chocolate tombstone.
Seems like I'm willing to try that.
Yeah. I think honestly, we probably can probably get one and
Yeah.
just kind of like share, just see how it is. I think we could.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I do have to say though, the aspect of how this thing looks is absolutely incredible. They put a lot of thought into this, and I love how the cone itself, you can see little hidden Mickeys in there. I love that.
Yeah.
I do love that. Oh, okay. This right here is getting into dangerous territory for me. This is that
Pumpkin
Harvard
spice
Valley.
cookies.
Yeah, this is getting dangerous. I almost thought they were snickerdoodles, but that's for festival holidays during Christmas. And those, I know I'm going off subject, but Snickerdoodles, I kid you not, if they're freshly baked and they're
Oh, I
not
love snickerdoodles.
and they're not burnt, I can eat like a whole bag of those in a day.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
have
it.
to say, with this being pumpkin spice, the fact that they're coming from the Harbor Galley can do no wrong with their
No.
cookies.
Oh God, no. No. They're so awesome. And then Cassandra says, love pumpkin cookies. There you go. Well, there you go. You have your opportunity. They're debuting them on August the 22nd through November the 13th. So,
Okay.
Cassandra, there you go. The next item we got is it is a whipped cream cheese dip. With what though? Do you have like chips or something with it,
Right.
or
We just sticking our fingers in and just
I guess
open up the dip.
mm, that sounds exotic, but not in the way you're thinking of. That just does not. I don't know. It kind of looks like expired milk that kind of gelatized, and they threw
Yeah.
like pumpkin spice on top of it or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
just
Abby,
allowed.
you says we're getting some. I hope you're talking about the cookies and not this thing that we're looking in front of us.
Yeah, yeah. Good God. Yeah, no. This does, unless there's like maybe cookies or something that comes with this.
And then Cassandra says, "Are we talking about food?" Honestly, Cassandra, looking at this, I don't really know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think we're talking about food when we look at that. That's horrendously. I don't even know what the hell you would call that. Abby says, I think they stopped talking about food. Well, Abby, we stopped talking about food as soon as we laid it on whatever the hell this concoction
Yeah.
is. It doesn't look
It looks like something I ate and lost.
that, or it looks like snot. I don't know.
That too.
Right. It does not look right at all. This
It looks like, as you said, it's snot. It looks like somebody sneezed with a garnish of a nosebleed.
exactly. That's what I mean. It doesn't look appetizing at all.
Oh,
This
Cassandra, really quick. Sorry, she said, "What kind of cream is it? What kind of cream was it again?"
it says it was just a whipped cream cheese dip.
Whipped cream cheese dip. Okay, interesting.
I I don't
I
know.
bet you they give you like little pretzels or something on the side, but I bet you like the main thing is that. But I have no interest in that.
So I'm gonna say by just putting the dip there itself and nothing with it, that is a big turnoff. Now, if they had like George's saying like pretzels or some type of cookies or chip, something else with it besides looking at that, I would say, okay, I'm willing to try that. Just looking at a dip like that, it's unappealing for me. So
Yeah,
that's not. It does not.
yeah.
Abby,
I wouldn't even bother spending the money to even try it.
yeah, Abby says that's gross. Yeah, it's gross. Cassandra says, yeah, and then Dead Short. He's also another one. He's he's in the UK. So I know Matthew Murr on Orange Grove 55 is from the UK. So he's in the UK. He says the Walt Disney audio animatronic breaks down on opening day. Not looking good for Disney. That is a bad show. Do you have any thoughts on that before we continue on this?
I know that they only had like one breakdown that I know someone that it just malfunctioned, and honestly, things are going to happen.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to be out of their control. That at some point it's going to have issues. I do know that Disney does have moments where if something isn't working with the audio animatronic, they don't even open the show. So it just so happens that when they did this, unfortunately, it was through mid-show, and they literally shut the show down right away, and the curtain went down within seconds.
Yeah, which kind of sucked.
Yeah,
Because literally they showed him starting to get up, and then he got up, and he was about to take the first step, and then he broke down. So that kind of sucked for everyone watching that showing. But
And then before you move on, I know you're trying to move on with this, and then Abby's saying, "Is it sweet or savory?" That's the weird thing. Like it's saying a cream cheese
cheese,
cheese. What was that? A cream cheese dip?
well, it's whipped, but like that means anything.
Yeah, that's all. I don't really honestly know. I don't know what it would.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. It does
Yeah.
not. Now, this next item we're looking at, this is at the Hungry Bear Barbecue Restaurant, Jamboree. I'd be running to this restaurant because, first of all, I love cherry, I love cobbler,
Mhm.
and I love funnel cake. It says a cinnamon sugar dusted funnel cake fries, cherry pie filling with vanilla ice cream and sriracha. I
Yeah,
would, I would be 40-yard dash running to that restaurant for this.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it looks sexy compared to Frankenstein over here,
Yeah.
which doesn't have an identity. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. As you said, that looks like sexy on a plate.
yeah.
The other thing looked like what comes out of Jane Fonda.
God. Oh my gosh. This next drink, this is also at the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. You want to read this one for us?
Yeah. So let's see. This one is the mint chip cold brew. Mint chip ice cream, Joffrey's French roast cold brew, coffee, cream topper, and chocolate chips. So basically, it's like an infused chocolate chip, like cookie infused in a cold brew.
Would you try that?
I would try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely try it as long as it has some sweetness to it, not overly sweet. Because I can't take like a bitter coffee.
No, no. And I'd probably get, I'd probably try yours because again, I'll probably say it 100 more times as we're reading through this foodie guy because it's a lot. I'm not a coffee person, so it's not
Yeah,
something I would order on my own because I'd probably take one sip of it and ditch it. So
yeah.
it would not be worth the money on that one, at least for me. This is at Jolly Holly or Holiday Bakery Cafe. This is a pear cherry cheese crumble pie shell filled with cheesecake, cherry filling, spiced pears finished with sliced pears, strudel, and caramel.
I wouldn't mind trying that. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it could be good.
And it's funny because it says a crumble. Because my dad, he's been retired from the phone company for a little over 10 years now, I think. And during the holidays, he loves making these little crumbles, exactly what that looks like. But he makes like apple pie ones. He makes peach cobbler. He makes all these different ones, cherry, apple, and they're really good. And I'm like, really? You're no Gordon Ramsay, but good Lord, this is delicious. So my dad, every holiday season, he loves making these. So I'm definitely intrigued to try this for sure.
Yeah.
Um, the next item is I'm gonna let you do this one.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, bulgogi beef toasted sandwich with corn cheese soup. Marinated beef, grilled onions, mozzarella, and kimchi aioli on sourdough served with corn cheese soup. Um, that actually could be really good.
Yeah,
I
I
think that could be really good.
I'm not opposed to it. It does. I do like the aioli aspect because there are some aioli sauces and foods that I really love, and then there's some I kind of stay away from. The only thing I can say I'm kind of unsure about is that corn cheese soup. I wish it was kind of like a beef dip. Um, but
Now,
I'm
here's
willing
the
to
thing,
try.
like it sounds weird, but I think that if they make it well, it possibly could be good because I've tried a lot of things from Abby because she loves getting stuff with corn.
Sure.
Um, especially the cheese corn. I think that's what it's called, Abby. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is literally like corn, and there's like melted like cheese all in between it, and
Yeah,
everything, and that's really good. So a corn cheese soup, I think, would be really good. So she confirms it's a Korean barbecue sandwich.
definitely. So it's something I'm willing to try. But
And
I,
then, really quick, kind of going back, Cassandra said, "Why does that cup remind me of a scene in American Pie?" Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about, and
yep, it's true. It does remind me of that.
yeah, and that
I
is a cup that I hope that I would never get.
exactly 100%. Abby says yes, cheese corn is so good, and then she also said that's what the soup is supposed to be. Okay, so I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to try it. So I'm not opposed to it. Um, let me see. This is just a random question from David. He said, "Why Disney? Why did Disney, or why is Disney willing to give up with the animatronic that won't work for the movie show?" I wonder what he meant by that.
Yeah, David, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. If you could elaborate a little bit more
Yeah,
on that.
please elaborate, David, and then we'll try to answer that question a little bit better. The next item we have is a caramel apple cheesecake. Okay, well, you got me sold on the caramel apple, and I love cheesecake. Caramel cheesecake with caramelized apple filling, finished with caramel dip, orange white chocolate mousse, chocolate flakes, and a chocolate bat.
I mean, I do love macarons, so I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah. And I love white chocolate. I love milk chocolate, but I love white chocolate because a lot of times I'll go to like the grocery store and pick up groceries for the house and whatnot. And once in a while, I have to treat myself to the Hershey's cookies and cream white chocolate bar.
Oh, love the Hershey cookies and cream.
Oh yeah, it's so good. The next one we got, George, you want to speak
Yeah,
on this one?
let's see. Let's see. I guess, is that the hazelnut brownie tart?
It is.
Okay, hazelnut spread and brownie filling topped with purple cream treat cheese frosting, chocolate moon, bat, and orange sprinkles. Yeah, that is interesting because here's the thing. I do enjoy hazelnut. Sometimes it can get a little bit bitter.
Yeah.
And especially if it's in a brownie form. So I don't know about that one. We might have to split that one because I don't know if I would want to eat a whole one.
I would probably take a little piece because
Yeah.
I'm not a huge what did I say, hazelnut fan,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to try it, just not a whole one. And then Deadshot, I think he clarified it with David. He said the Walt Disney animatronic breaks down on opening day. It's not looking good for Disney right now. That is a bad show, Daddy Josh, using your guys' quote. Personally, for me, any type of attraction, and we went through this with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, both on the East Coast with Walt Disney World, and then us here at Disneyland. Both attractions where Splash Mountain got reskinned. I could tell you right now, and this goes with any theme park, any brand new ride is going to have an issue on opening day. Obviously, they don't want that, but it does happen. But something like this, where it's the Walt animatronic, kind of brings a higher level than what an attraction would be, because there was so much skepticism behind it. There was so much critiques. Part of his family didn't want him as an animatronic, including himself. He even came out and said back in the day when he was alive, he never wanted to be an animatronic. So the fact that on Disneyland's actual birthday that it had this issue, it is not looking good, especially, with Josh being in the running for CEO, or to be the next CEO. But again, I won't sit there and dog on Josh too much, because again, with any opening day attraction, things like this will happen.
Hmm. And I will say, because I ended up seeing the show 5 times now already, and I think honestly, if you sit closer to the animatronic,
Yeah,
it's much better than seeing it from afar.
sure.
And also too, if you're videoing, like recording, it looks different if you look through the lens of the camera as opposed to the actual optic eye.
Yeah,
So, and I think honestly, I've heard, the story that Walt didn't want to be an audio animatronic, but there were a lot of historians and archive people that said it was never actually officially documented that he said that. Now, again, that's also hearsay, so it can kind of go either way.
sure.
Um, but uh, yeah, I think for what it is, I mean, the show is still thriving. They haven't had too much issues, so far. God forbid. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Definitely. And and again, we've all said it. We said it on different videos in the last couple weeks, between George doing shows on his channel and then being on OG's channel, me doing videos with other people. We've all said it. If you haven't seen the show, watching it on the video, no matter how professional it's filmed, it does not do it justice. If you want to make a final judgment, you have to go see it in person. That's the
Yeah,
only best way to do it, literally.
yeah.
Um, but the next item we're looking at, and this is another macaroon, just like that Alien Pizza Planet one was, is a Jack O' Lantern Mickey pumpkin macaroon. Obviously, it has pumpkin uh, shell filled with caramel and pumpkin cheesecake. Has a lot of pumpkin in there.
I do love cheesecake, but yeah, I think with a lot of pumpkin, sometimes that could be a little bit overpowering.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm not opposed to trying it if we decide to get that.
definitely. This one, this one kind of changes the game a little bit, because obviously this is let me see, it's a pumpkin muffin topped with cream cheese icing. So again, I work at Costco. Costco makes these muffins, special muffins during the holiday season, and pumpkin muffins usually come out probably around September, maybe late August, but usually the beginning of September. Um, and their pumpkin muffins are actually really good. So this is one I would probably definitely try, 100%.
I do love muffins. Again, I'm not huge on pumpkin, but I'm definitely willing to try it. And cream cheese frosting, I absolutely love. I'd probably just eat the cream cheese frosting on the top and give Abby the muffin.
Oh, there you go. Oh man, this is a spiced bunt cake, spice caked filled with cream cheese frosting and topped with purple glaze, sprinkles, and a spice mousse with a Mickey chocolate decor. Has a lot of
It
fancy
it
ingredients.
sounds good. The cake looks, even just from this picture, a little bit dried out.
Yeah, it
That
does.
looks very thick and dense.
Yeah, yeah. It I don't know. Again, it really honestly depends how they're made and where they're made at. Because I know one of the things with all these food items we're looking at is the mere fact that, like during the festival holidays or Lunar New Year, they don't make a lot of these booths. They don't have the food on location at the booth. Usually they make it in one of the kitchens nearby and then they cart it over.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So looking at this picture, I would have to agree with George. It does look dried out. and it looks like something that if you bit into it or used a fork, it would just crumble in pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know how I'd feel about that. The last thing off this is a Jeffrey's pumpkin cold brew topped with vanilla foam and spiced sugar. So not spiced pumpkin, but spiced
By
sugar.
sugar. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. I probably would try to pick like the best one because obviously I wouldn't be getting all these cold brews. Like my bladder wouldn't be able to take it. Um, but I'd probably like pick like maybe one or two that
Sure.
sound the best and maybe try it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because again, it's hard to tell because some of these coffees could end up being very strong, and if
Yeah.
it's super strong and bitter, it's a waste because I won't drink it.
Exactly. So again, these are all the food items from Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe. Man, it just keeps on going. Damn. This one, whoa, that looks in it. That actually looks refreshing.
That looks good.
I wonder what that is. Oh, here we go. It's a mango, and this is at the Little Red Wagon. This is probably another booth that we probably walked by 100 million times. This is a mango strawberry lemonade, Minute Maid lemonade infused with, what does that say? What's that ingredient? I can't.
On which one? The
It,
mango strawberry lemonade.
yeah, it says it's
Minute
infused.
Maid lemonade infused with chamoy,
Yeah,
strawberry syrup, and mango puree.
yeah. Interesting. It does look refreshing, though. I'm not gonna lie, but it might be super sweet though. Just looking at it, because it looks like there's a lot of syrup in there, and
Yeah,
obviously,
it's one of those things where you definitely have to like stir in really well.
yeah, and obviously the strawberries itself kind of gives off that sugar vibe as well. It kind of enhances it. Um, and then they have a chili cheese corn dog, classic corn dog topped with spicy chili, jalapeno, cilantro creme, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, served with choice of cutie, well, okay, oranges or potato chips. This is it right here. What does that look like to you?
Um, Again, I'm not big on hot dogs or even, and I know I'm probably in the minority. I'm not even a huge fan of corn dogs.
Yeah,
Um, the thing is, I'm not a fan of like the onion straws. Like, I don't like them really on anything. Like, I don't even like them on burgers.
cheese.
So I'd probably like dump that part off
Yeah,
just to take a bite. But I will say, I probably would eat a corn dog over like a kielbasa or something like that.
definitely. Okay, this looks interesting. Okay, so compared to that other pastry we saw from the other place, this actually looks very moist. So it
Yeah.
doesn't look dried out, but that is this is from the Market House. It is a butter biscuit cookie, butter cookie with cookie butter spread, which I love, drizzled with colored chocolate. And again, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah. Because cookie butter, it's funny because they do sell that in grocery stores. I don't know if all year around, but they do sell it during the holidays, I know for sure. And it's exactly like peanut butter, but it doesn't taste like peanut butter. It tastes like cookie butter. So
Right. Yeah.
it's
That's what
something
a lot of people ask me. They say, "What does cookie butter taste like?" I say, "Cookie butter tastes like cookie butter. It just doesn't. It has its own."
exactly.
It's like if somebody asks me, "What does yellow cake taste like?" Yellow cake tastes like yellow cake to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way to describe it unless you try it yourself, and even then, you can't describe it.
Right.
I don't even,
What say you on that, conductor?
what?
I'm for sure you've had yellow cake. When someone asks you, "Do you like yellow cake?"
Yeah,
Like there's nothing really to compare it to. You just say it tastes like yellow cake, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Or I would just tell them too. I would just say, well, it's just a normal cake that looks yellow
Hmm.
and has no flavor aspect to it. All I could tell you, it's a sponge cake with yellow on it.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So I there's really not much description on that. And then let me see. This right here, this is from. It looks like a food cart by Small World. Trick and Treat Trail Mix, which you can get at any grocery store, basically.
Yeah, I'd probably pass on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd probably go down the street to Albertsons or something away from Disneyland, bring in something like that because they allow little snacks, as long as it's not alcohol. Um, Mint julep bar. Okay, I've never tried a baguette, so I know I'm probably going to be slapped later because people will probably freak out and say, "What? You never tried it? What?" But this is a pumpkin spiced flavored Mickey shaped baguette dusted with pumpkin spiced sugar.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy the beignets, although I will say the one from Star Wars Night, the Yoda one, was disgusting.
Yeah, I bet. So I'm already on OG's hit list. I'm gonna get slapped. So I better be ready for that when I see him. Um, but yeah, I've never had a baguette. Again, I don't know how I feel about this pumpkin spice sugar because I love sugar. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know how pumpkin spice fits into that aspect. I just don't know. So
I mean, I think I can't remember if I ended up getting these at some point, but I remember trying something of a rendition of it. I don't really think they're that bad. This is
yeah,
probably the one kind of thing that I would try
sure,
with the pumpkin taste to it.
definitely. Here's your favorite picture again, a different item, but this is a coffee caramel dipping sauce. The one thing I'm going to say before we even speculate what the hell this even looks like is I
This is
wish
the white stuff after it sits for a while.
exactly that's basically what it is. But I wish if Disney was going to put out these pictures, I wish they would have had some type of food item, even if it wasn't gonna go with this, but it would be a food item that kind of you know um, mix and match. Because just looking at a dipping sauce, it's like really, it kind of looks like something I ate at a
Yeah,
restaurant.
at least like have something like appealing with it
Yeah,
that that says, okay, this is worth getting because it comes with this and you use it for a dipping sauce. When you just have just a dipping sauce, it's like who the hell wants to stand in line to then go buy a thing of dipping sauce?
exactly. The caramel, I love caramel. I just don't know how strong the coffee is going to be in it. So that I would have to probably share with somebody. I don't know if I would 100% eat all that.
Although I would say I would probably get that before the other one
Uh, True. Very true.
if I had to pick and choose.
Exactly. And this is a cranberry pomegranate mint julep mixed with berry flavored popping spears. So basically like boba.
Minus the boba, because I'm not a huge fan of boba. Like
Sure.
I don't know, like it just gets in my way. I'm trying to drink, and then I got these like balls like coming through the straw, and it's like it's an inconvenience.
It kind
Um,
it kind of sounds like a lab experiment gone
yeah,
wrong.
uh, yeah. As Abby said, like I don't like balls, um, and thank God for that. Um, but the drink itself sounds very refreshing. I probably, honestly, I think out of all the drinks, this one I would say is probably up my alley because I do love a good mint julep.
Yeah, exactly. This is non-alcoholic as well. Um, oh God. Oh geez, already starting. Here we go. See this? Oh God. Well, OG, I'm going to tell you, if Webba starts figuring out that backstage, he's going to find a spot. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I don't think I want to know what that means. Okay, so this is at the Plaza Inn. This is a German chocolate pie. Flaky pie shell filled with layers of chocolate cake, chocolate cream. What is that? Cremex? Yeah, Cremex, and German chocolate filling, topped with chocolate drizzle and chocolate curds.
That's like too much chocolate for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, good Lord. It's a lot of chocolate. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
German chocolate is very rich.
Yes. That I can confirm. I have tried German chocolate before, and it's very rich. So if you're not someone that is a very if your taste buds don't like rich things like that, I'd probably skip it, because
Yeah.
you're probably going to take one bite and then toss it. So I would not recommend it. This looks awesome. The theming is awesome. This is a poison apple cake, red cinnamon cake with cream cheese and caramelized apple filling, finished with red cream cheese buttercream frosting and green garnish.
So it sounds very sweet,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be opposed to trying that.
Yeah, it looks very, very appetizing, but the sugar content has got to be out of control, literally out of control. But I'm willing to try it. The next item is a tombstone chocolate cake. Again, I kind of feel like they did a lot of great theming on this. It's basically a pound cake, whipped topping, Oreo dusting, and a couple gummy worms, which you can get at your local grocery store. What do you think about that?
It honestly really isn't appealing to me, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of like chocolate cake with like vanilla icing. I'd prefer either like white or yellow cake with
Sure.
like milk chocolate icing.
Definitely. Yeah. Again, I feel like how it looks is very eye appealing. How it tastes, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is at Rancho del Zocalo restaurant. What the hell? Chick or treat? What the heck?
Mulita?
Okay, first of all, before we even read the description,
I'm sorry it's very hard for me to like get a taste in my mouth if I can't even pronounce what the hell it is.
So let me just play this out for you. And people would probably laugh if George and I went to this booth and I tell them, instead of reading the whole thing, because like George said, it's hard to read out. Yeah, I'll take a chick, and everyone probably look at me like I'm some kind of freaking nutcase that probably got hit by Roger Rabbit with a hammer. What do you mean? What do you mean by chick?
Right.
Well,
I'd probably be even worse because I'd be saying probably, can I have the chick for my treat?
Oh, they would probably definitely stare at you and go, what the hell is wrong?
And they'd be like, you mean the chick or treat? I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. Let's go with that one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. It says a cheesy blue corn tortilla with refried beans, chicken. What does that say? Chicken tinga? Yeah, tinga.
Tinga, yeah.
Yeah, tinga creme. Oh my god. Why with the fancy words? Why can't they just make it simple?
I don't know about that. Like,
what the spicy pickled onions served with tortilla chips. So basically something like half of that you could get at a Mexican restaurant without all the minus of the fancy nonsense. Okay. Good Lord. Sure, why not? Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that. This is a Mickey-shaped pumpkin salted Deluxe cream puff. Yeah, that doesn't look creamy to me. That looks like something that's sat out at the Nevada desert for
Yeah,
several
that
years.
looks very looks very
That doesn't look right.
dried out for sure.
Yeah, maybe the outside's dried out, but as soon as you bite in, you're not. It's like the calm before the storm. You bite into it, and you're like, "What in the hell is this gooey stuff? What is this?" You're
Yeah,
not. You're not.
it doesn't strike my fancy.
No. Um, let's see. This is at the Red Rose Tavern, which it was my first time eating with at the Red Rose Tavern with you guys a couple weeks ago, and it was actually not bad. I actually loved the Red
Mhm.
Rose Tavern, but it's a butternut squash flatbread. That looks pretty awesome. It's a roasted butternut squash puree, roasted mushrooms, feta, and roasted diced butternut squash topped with garlic miso sauce and fried sage. Okay.
Um, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of butternut squash. Um,
He is.
yeah, I don't. Well, here's the thing. I do love, I do love flatbread. I just don't know about that particular one.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna call the kettle black as I see it. Squash reminds me of Thanksgiving, and when I look at squash, it doesn't look eye appealing to me. My mind kind of goes in left field when I look at it.
When I see butternut squash puree, it reminds me of baby food.
Yeah, well, it reminds me a little bit more than that, but
Like
that you're
after the
down.
fact, the baby eats it and what comes out.
Yeah, yeah, that, yeah, exactly, exactly that. This next one is a enchanted pumpkin stuffed. Okay, stuffed what? It says pumpkin mousse with pumpkin cake and apricot marmalade, center topped with green sprinkles, silver stars, and a chocolate branch and leaf. What? I'm confused.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I enjoy mousse to an extent, but when the whole dessert is mousse,
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
too
it's
much
too much.
mousse. Yeah, way too much. Oh my god. No, thank you. Um, okay. I know you don't like pumpkin, but this actually does look pretty interesting. This is a pumpkin cheesecake cold brew, Jeffrey's caramel, vanilla, and cinnamon cold brew with pumpkin cheesecake topper.
Okay, that I would probably like. I think out of all the cold brews, that's the one I would probably get.
Yeah, this one does not look bad. That one looks
Yeah.
very good. And just so everyone knows, this Rancho del Zocalo restaurant, it's next to, well, it's adjacent from the, oh my God, um, I'm drawing a blank now. Golden Horseshoe. It's on the other side of the street, kind of tucked in there. And then they have an outdoor patio, which literally butts up against Thunder Mountain. So that's where this restaurant is. But I definitely would try that, 100%. How much more is there? Oh my God.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
Oh my God.
We
Okay.
might have to come back and do a part.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a part two. Oh my God. It keeps going. Okay, folks, we're doing a part
Okay,
two.
let's do one more. Can you go back up to the that chicken one, the Poultry Palace one? Because I saw
Okay.
the box behind it. Okay, right there, right there. Okay, let's see. Poultry Palace Chipotle chicken drumstick box. Now I have to say, I absolutely love the chicken at Poultry Palace.
Yeah.
If anyone has not tried it, I definitely recommend it. I know it seems juvenile, like to get it off of a little stand and it's not a sit down, but I love their chicken legs.
Sure.
So I wouldn't mind trying those for sure.
Definitely. You know, I've tried chicken wings inside the park and I wasn't disappointed. So I'm actually very intrigued to try this. So I definitely would probably try it. I'd probably get my own serving because I love chicken wings. Um, this is at I think this is at Tasting Lab. There's a Karl Strauss Oktoberfest. So I wonder. Wait. Oh, here it is. Um, A- Asgard. No, that doesn't say Asgard, does it? No. Am I looking?
Well, Asgardian apple cold brew.
Okay.
Yep.
And it says caramel cold brew, green apple, cold foam, and caramel sauce with caramel apple lollipop. I would try that because I love caramel apple.
I do too. I would try that.
Okay. So we're both in agreement. So even though there's a lot of apple in it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
This right here, it says a blueberry matcha ice latte. First of all, before we even get started, I'm gonna say right now it looks like the Hulk threw up because it does not look like blueberry at all. Because shouldn't the drink be blue, not
I'm
green?
assuming they put green dye in it with the
They had to have.
flavor.
They had to have. But it's a
I would
matcha.
think, honestly, by looking at that, I would think that would be like green apple.
That's what I thought originally. But it's a matcha latte topped with blueberry cold foam and blueberry popping spears. So basically, those little bubbles that you love so very much. But yeah, it doesn't look that bad. I'm willing to try it. It's just deceiving when they call it blueberry and it's green. So I don't know. Cassandra says, not very often. I do live here in LA. We'll be spending lots of time at the parks during Halloween and Christmas. Well, Cassandra, if you see George, obviously, or you see me roaming in the park, please come say hello because we will be in the park.
Absolutely.
What's OG saying? He's stirring trouble like normal, but I love him. Matcha is a big biz right now. Everyone loves matcha. Well,
yeah, it is. It's like in the realm, like ever since like coming out here and then like getting infused with like the Filipina culture,
yeah,
like matcha and ube and all that. I never even knew that stuff existed.
me either. I gotta start hanging out with you and Abby more to kind of learn all these terms because I'm a deer in headlights when it comes to that as well.
Yeah. See, Abby says matcha is what is making the drink green, and actually, matcha is what they used for those disgusting beignets, the Yoda ones, because it's very earthy. So if it has to be used in small increments.
Yeah.
So this one I'm like kind of hesitant on because if there is an overpowering amount of matcha, it's going to taste very earthy.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And then OG says, Cassandra, do you have an Instagram? Well, I'm sure she does. Let's see. Abby says matcha can be earthy if there's too much. The blueberry might help the flavor. Well, it also depends how much blueberry is in there because if there's not enough to kind of counterbalance it.
Right, there has to be more blueberry in there than the matcha.
Exactly. But we can spend another 2 hours going over this foodie guide. Obviously, I'm planning on doing a video with obviously George. I'll try to get Tommy on and try to get OG on. It'll probably be a 2-3 hour video going through all this because I just skipped a lot just to get to this point. But from what we've seen so far, there's a lot to try. I do want to ask you before we go to our last topic, which is only going to be a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're going to have a sip and savory pass for this? Because there's so much to try. I mean, a lot.
Oh, that's a good question. There is a lot more than what I expected. I don't know if they would. They may just have like the offerings since it's going to be there from like August to October. So it gives people a chance to try. I do think it would benefit Disney in a way because honestly, Abby and I would probably get it if they do. Because we'd be trying more than, our fair share of things to try. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. Are they going to? It's hard to say.
It's definitely hard to say, but if they do, come up with one. I would like different versions of the Sip and Savory Pass where, they can start out with maybe 5 items and jump it all the way to 30 items. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Obviously, you buy the 30 item thing, you're going to pay a hefty penny, but it at least gives you an option to try 30 different items. So maybe, who knows what the combination would be, 20 food items, 10 drink items, or whatever your heart's desire, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do have to say that that snot looking dip sauce is going to be a skip for me.
That's definitely a skip for me.
Yeah.
Like all that and the dried out sponge cakes and all that. Like,
Yeah. No, thank you.
yeah, I'm good.
Pass. The last topic we're going to talk about real quick is just some HHN and then Horrors Unleashed, and it's only going to be a couple minutes because we've already been live for almost 2 hours and 20 minutes here. But I want to ask you about this post here. This was posted on X just before we went live. It's from the Rip Tour Halloween Horror Nights page on X. It says a new post from the Wyatt Six. The message will spread tomorrow, which is 7/29.
Mhm.
And I have to ask you straight off the bat, do you think we're going to get an announcement tomorrow?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's like a teaser. Because even though it's not saying like an announcement, it's not using that terminology, but the fact that it's kind of giving the teaser of saying, it'll spread on 7/29. Well, in order to spread, we have to know what that message is. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get something tomorrow for sure. And especially because, we're only a few weeks away before. I can't believe I'm actually saying that the Halloween season starts beginning. Like, I never in my day would ever think that in the month of August to start saying Halloween, kicks off.
Exactly. So I do think we're going to get an announcement, and then I wanted to show this off because I finally bought it. This is the little picture frame at Universal. This is what we got so far. If you guys can see this,
Nice.
we got Jason, we got Terrifier that was just announced, and we got Fallout. But obviously there's 2 windows missing. Could one of these windows be for the Wyatt Six, or could it be for Freddy Fazbear for Five Nights at Freddy? Post in the comments. But I love this thing, and I finally broke down when I was at Universal on Thursday. I'm like, okay, I'm buying this thing. It stares me in the face like Jason stares at me in the dark sometimes. And, I had to get it. I just pulled the trigger and did it. But jumping now to Horrors Unleashed. Obviously, they're doing more theming on the outside of the building. Do you want to let everyone know when you're going to be there? Let's start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will actually be there opening weekend for Horror Unleashed. I will not be there for the opening day. For some reason, when I was talking to Wizard, I thought the day that he told me was the actual opening day, but I think it was kind of like a lost in translation kind of thing. I think it was just that was the day that he said he was going. So so we're going opening weekend, and it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. I'm very curious to see how they pull this off in this atmosphere in Vegas, outside of the theme parks, and really see how like nitty gritty and dark that they can get. Because I feel like they're not going to hold back with this one for sure.
No, and so my plan is I'm going to be out there with Tommy Toon World grand opening day, and then the second day, so the day after. And me and him have been talking back and forth because not grand opening day, but the second day this experience is opened, Midsummer Scream starts that day. So a lot of attention is going to be pulled away from this. And it makes
Yeah,
me,
because I was talking to Mondo about that, and he's going to Midsummer Night's Scream, and he says a lot of people are that it's going to kind of like pull away from this, so to speak. So if it doesn't get the hype that we all think, it's because they're so close in opening, and I kind of wish that they would have spaced them out a bit, to be
yeah.
honest. But
So it's funny you mentioned spaced out because I absolutely agree with you. It shouldn't have been the previous weekend, or not the previous, but the weekend after Midsummer.
mhm.
Kind of like what I'm going to refer to back at Disneyland for the 70th for the Richard Sherman verse in Smart World. We were all talking about it because George and Abby did a live reaction after the ride, and one of the things I said during their reaction video was that Walt Disney World also got this verse on the same day as Disneyland. And what I said to George and Abby on the video was, I said, It's not Walt Disney World's birthday, it's Disneyland's birthday." So
Mhm.
I had no problem of Walt Disney World's um Small World getting this verse. I kind of just wish that Disneyland kind of had a head start above everyone else, because George mentioned that all the Small World attractions around the world, that all the Disney parks should get this verse to pay tribute to the Sherman brothers, especially Richard Sherman. But I kind of feel like having it at at Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom and then having it at Disneyland the same day was probably not the best idea to do so. Magic Kingdom should have gotten it a month after, or maybe a few weeks after. Kind of like what this is with Universal Horror Unleashed. This shouldn't have been posted, or this shouldn't have had its grand opening either the weekend after Midsummer or the weekend before Midsummer. That way, it gave people, especially content creators, it gave them the opportunity to go experience it, maybe maybe talk about it with other content creators, maybe just people that work in the industry, because you see a lot of industry people at Midsummer Scream, just like you see at D23, to kind
Mhm.
of discuss this out. And a Universal panel could have been part of that, where they kind of went in the more diving into what Horror Unleashed is, because this is the first iteration of Horror Unleashed, because Universal just probably, what would you say, George, maybe less than a month ago, debuted that they are going to open a second location in Chicago at a old newspaper factory.
Correct. Yeah.
So, thinking about this, do you think Universal kind of made a mistake that Disney did by putting two events like this too close to each
Mhm.
other?
Absolutely. They should have spaced it out at least 1 to 2 weeks from, from Midsummer to this, because you wanna give breathing room so that way it can draw attention to it, because now, if this doesn't get the attraction that Universal was anticipating, they could say, "Okay, well, maybe people aren't into it." No, people are into it. It's just the timing when you released it.
Exactly. One thing I do have to say though with this experience, and I told Tommy the other day, I can't wait until they announce dates for the Chicago one once they start building it and get it ready to open. I told Tommy we'll probably have to plan a trip out to Chicago to experience that. But one of the things I love about this, first of all, the merch looks amazing. One of the things that was said by Mondo and so many others that's done a review on this was that Scarecrow, one of the houses in Horror Unleashed, that's going to be part of the grand opening houses, because there's going to be 4 total. Scarecrow really didn't get a lot of heavy merch at HHN when it was at Hollywood a few years back. Now it could change because it came back to Hollywood and it's going to be part of the Hollywood event this year. But looking at the merch that Horror Unleashed unveiled online, it looked um, very awesome. And I'm not talking just about the Scarecrow merch. I'm talking about the merch for all four houses. So that's a bonus right there. But I think the ultimate bonus is that you walk in, okay, you walk in, and I don't know how it's going to be laid out, but you walk in and you have the bar and you have a restaurant. So once you're done experiencing the houses and maybe talking to, I forgot what Tommy called them, not the fortune tellers, but there's another name I can't think of. But there's one that there's multiple of them you can talk to. But sitting down in the restaurant slash bar, what I find very cool is that the monsters that are part of Horror Unleashed, they come up to you and they interact with you while you're eating, while you're drinking. So me and Tommy had a great idea. We're probably going to do a video, if not a live stream, and have literally we're just sitting there enjoying food, and these monsters just come out of nowhere and come and join the live stream. I think that would be very cool. That's one of the things I love about this new aspect of Horror Unleashed that Universal is putting out there is the fact that you'll have interactive character dining. Now, obviously, not Scary Farm has something like that. It's not called the Buffet Dinner anymore, but it has a different name. But they have the same thing, where you go to a dinner slash buffet, and the monsters come up to you and interact with you. So I think this was very cool. They did that.
Yeah.
So, but again, George is going to be there opening weekend. Me and Tommy are going to be there opening day and the day after. I think Tommy is actually staying the third day, so he's going to meet up with you and Wizard. I actually have to fly back and go to work and entertain the lovely people at Costco, unfortunately. But I can't wait to experience this. I can't wait to maybe go back once I do experience it. Because one of the things that I would love to see is, since they're building now a second location in Chicago, and we all thought, okay, well, if they're going to do a Chicago location, maybe they'll do a New York location, maybe they'll do a Texas location. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But what I'm hoping is that each location kind of has a theming around it. And what I mean by a theming is whatever houses they bring fit that theme. And then once they get rotated out, they go to a different Horror Unleashed with a different twist to it based on the state that the experience is at. So I'm really hoping they kind of really ramp this up and really get more and more creative with it as they build more of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, George, it was an awesome time talking to you. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Well, we're just under 2 hours and 30 minutes. I want to thank our fantastic chat, our great moderator for tonight, Orange Grove 55. Shout out to him. Definitely go check out his channel. Does a lot of videos, a lot of reaction videos to Hate Bricky. I love watching those. George is always on his show. I'm always on his show. He's an amazing guy. I love hanging out with him and George at the parks. They definitely do have a wild side to them that you don't see on camera too much. So when you're at the parks with them, you definitely see multiple sides, and it's a lot of fun to hang out with them. But George, thank you again for being part of this live stream. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And you can find me on my YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel 55.
Absolutely. And again, definitely go check out George's channel, Citrico Central. Has a lot of amazing content on there. And one of the things I do have to say, one of the things I'm kind of jealous because I love it. you and Abby do something on your channel that I absolutely love, and I think it's fantastic. You guys will go to the theme parks or wherever you might be. You'll go to a restaurant, sit down, and a lot of times you'll have whatever waiter you have order for you. I love that. I love that. Can
Yeah,
you?
because a lot of people use that in the YouTube space,
Sure.
but not in the Disney
Yeah.
YouTube space. So I thought, well, that'd be a nice combination to kind of put together that I think a lot of people would enjoy to kind of see what our wait staff would choose for us. And I was talking to Abby about it, and the next one we're possibly going to do is at Hearthstone. Which shout out to you because I didn't even know that restaurant even existed
Yeah.
in the Grand Cali, and you got us reservations for it the day before the 70th anniversary, and actually that ended up becoming one of my favorite sit down restaurants in all of the Disneyland Resort. This is we just recently went a third time
Wow.
yesterday, so when we go and film, it'll be our fourth time.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, for a restaurant of that caliber, first of all, again, like George said, it was the night before the 70th. We're kind of all kind of game planning on what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how the reservation system was going to work for the Walt show, what time we were going to wake up to get to the gate. It was crazy, but our waiter and the hostess were super awesome. They
Mm-hmm.
sat us in this kind of little back room that you can obviously see from the front of the restaurant, but it was a back room, had a big, and I mean a massive fireplace. And we all sat there on really nice leather couches and had dinner. It was a lot of fun. And all the food we had, I think, how many of us were there? Like five of us?
There
Yeah,
were
five
five
of
of
us.
us, and three out of the five of us, we did kind of like family style dinner. And I
Yeah.
have to say, we ordered a bunch of stuff, and it only was $43 per
Perfect.
person when you divided it into the three. I
Yeah,
mean, it wasn't that bad.
yeah, and it was absolutely awesome. So I do recommend anyone that wants to try something different. I definitely recommend the Hearthstone Lounge. Obviously, like George said, he's never been there before. I made the reservations the night before, and now it's his new hangout hotspot. So who knows if you go in there and try it one time, you might see George and Abby in there. So you never know.
Yeah. And if you do, please come over and say hi. As I said, I'm an attention whore. I love the attention. As I said, if I could literally be like uh surf down Main Street and everyone just carry my body literally from the flag down to the castle, I'm all for it. I'm good. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. No, but yeah, it was a very, very awesome time, and I cannot wait to go back. Everything I tried was absolutely amazing. I do have to say, because we had Mindy and Brandon with us, her husband, and they were saying because they've been to Club 33, and
Mhm.
one of the items we had was the mushroom risotto. And
Mhm.
I do have to say, it's the same mushroom risotto that they served at Club 33. And I didn't know this until Mindy told us. But the chef that used to be in Club 33, he now works at that restaurant. So
Because it does taste the exact same, and I think that's why I could appreciate Hearthstone is you get the same quality kind of food, but for decent pricing,
yeah.
and that's a twofer for me.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But again, I want to shout out to you, George, for everything that you do,
Thank you so
being
much.
on this live stream, having an amazing channel, handling my trip coming up in Florida. I'm
Mhm.
super excited, and I cannot wait. It's going to be such a blast to be at Walt Disney World, ride the People Mover, Velocicoaster, the whole 9 yards, experience the Italian pavilion in Epcot so I could see your real Italian come out and you
Yes,
can chauffeur me
absolutely.
around. But I cannot wait. And we're also going to be checking out Epic Universe. It'll be my first time. I
Yes.
cannot wait. But again, shout out to you. Shout out to Orange Grove 55, one of our great moderators on the channel. Shout out to the chat. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and check out my other videos as well. I have a lot of amazing videos out there, and definitely follow me on my socials. Again, I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky, and TikTok at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me on Conductor Sunday live streams, where we do Conductor Sunday live streams, where we do live streams. We talk about the theme parks, talk about what's going on, and analyze. And we have amazing guests like George here that's pretty frequent on the channel. Also, Orange Grove 55 and so many others. And it's going to be an amazing time because we got a lot for the channel. George has a lot for the channel. Orange Grove and so many others have a lot for their channel. So it's going to be a fun year. And the next couple years of just absolute entertainment. So definitely stay tuned. Orange Grove said, choo choo, I got to do it. Choo choo. I had to do that for OG, and I had to do it for Wizard because I know Wizard would get mad if I didn't. But have a good night, everybody. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. Stay warm, cool, wherever you might be. And I will see you next Sunday on Conductor Sunday Livestream. Have a good night, everybody.